Lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I am Divasi Messi. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make that well fitted perfect U-part wigs, and I'm also going to be showing you how to place your clip-ins to give you the perfect results. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then make sure to keep on watching. Love you. Mwah. So first things first, I'm going to be listing out the things we will need to make this U-part wig. So I'm going to be using this dung cap. I'm also going to be using my wig comb, or you could go ahead to use a clip-in, whichever one works for you. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be using both of them actually. So this just opens up and you just put it inside your hair and then you just close it. That's how it's very easy to use. Also, you need your extensions. I'm going to be using these extensions from ULAHAIR. They sent me 3 pieces of their deep wave hair bundles in 22 inches, so I'm going to be making use of that. So this is everything that came inside the package. If you would like to check them out, I'm going to leave every information in the description box down below. So now we're just going to prep our wig cap. This is actually very essential to getting that well fitted U-part wig. So I'm going to take the measurement from the start of my hairline to the back of my neck, which is actually 14 inches. I'm just going to transfer that to my canvas head and my wig cap, so that I just want to make sure that it's the inches or the measurement of my head. I'm just going to make sure that I transfer that into my wig itself, so that it's staying in place and it's actually not so big and it's just the right size. So those 2 lines on the canvas edge is kind of actually mimicking the nape of your neck. So I just went ahead to pin that down on those 2 sides. Then I'm just going to go ahead. You see this, the wig cap is a little bit too big, and I really want this wig to stay on my head well fitted. So I'm just going to go ahead to get rid of every fabric that is too big on the wig cap. I'm just going to go ahead to put that in, stretch it as much as I can, and then just fold it in, and then I'm just going to go ahead to sew that. This is actually very essential in getting it to be very fitted. So I'm going to go in with my curved needle. This actually helps me a lot. I don't know if anybody uses a straight needle to sew their hair, because the curved needle is just a lot more better and it's way faster. So I'm just going to go ahead to sew this like I would normally sew my wig. Whatever technique you use in sewing your wig, you can just go ahead to just sew it across. So after making sure that it's properly knotted and properly tied, I'm just going to go ahead to measure the inches I want my U-part wig to be. So I went in with 1/2 inches on both sides and 4 inches deep. So 1/2 inches on both sides, which will make 1 inch. I thought 1 inch would be okay because I didn't actually want a lot of leave out. I didn't want to actually have to bring out a lot of leave out of my hair. So whatever works for you works for you. Whatever you think is best for you and whatever you're going for, that will work out fine too. So I just went ahead to mark my 4 inch deep, and then I'm just going to draw that like a U shape to kind of follow through. So I'm going to go ahead to map out the placement of my track. So I'm going to be doing 1 inch on the bottom and 1/2 inch on top. So how you map out your tracks totally depends on how many bundles of hair you have, or if you're going in single weft or double weft. So you just have to keep that in mind. So I'm just going to go ahead to fully map out that pattern all through the wig cap, just going straight by it. It doesn't have to be so straight because you're just using it as a guideline. It's not really like, it's not an essential, it's just a guideline. So I'm just going to take my curved needle and I'm just going to pass in through the double weft. I'm going to start with the double weft, and then I'm just going to attach that to the wig cap and sew it as normal. So for this, you can actually go in with a bonding glue or a hot glue gun, whatever works for you. Actually, I just feel very safer sewing it in. I feel very much safe sewing it in. But if you want to go in with a bonding glue, I mean, that works too, that works fine, and that's actually a lot more faster than sewing, but I prefer sewing. So getting to the end of your track, you can actually decide if you want to cut it or if you want to go ahead to flip over and just sew normally without cutting. I don't like cutting my weft. I don't know, I'm just used to not cutting it, and some people don't cut it because when you cut it, it kind of sheds a lot more. But I feel when it's good quality hair, it won't shed. But I'm just used to flipping over. That's the method I always use when I'm sewing. So whatever works for you, actually, you can actually go ahead to cut the track at the end of that line, or you can go ahead to flip over like I'm doing. So the rest is just really a repetitive process. I just go in and sew and then flip and then sew again. It's really repetitive. So getting closer to the top, maybe I have like 3 lines to go. I cut off the track. Why? Because there's not really a reason, it's not a necessity. I just do that because I want to be sure that the bundle doesn't stop halfway, like it doesn't finish halfway when I'm like closing in on the U part. So I just go in first before continuing to sew. It's not a necessity. If you feel your bundles are enough, you can just go ahead to sew. My bundles were enough, but it's just something I normally do, and it just helps you kind of just sight what you're doing. You can go ahead to just like sew this first line, then shedding. That's all the shedding that came out from the hair, and then I'm just going to cut my U parts out. I don't know, I feel like I should have sewn the clip in before I went in to deep condition it. That's how I feel. I don't know, but any process is fine. You can go ahead to do anything at once. So I'm just going to go ahead to start putting my clip ins. So I just put one clip in at the edge of the hair, and then I'm going to put one at the middle of the U part. So that's how I place it. I just placed 3, so 2 at the edge, that's one at one edge and one at the other edge, then one at the middle of it, then I put towards the back of the wig, and really that's all I need. You can go ahead to use extra clips if you want, but for me, I just feel these 4 were able to hold the hair. If you want extra security, you can go ahead to put at the sides of the wig, so you have like 5 clip-ins. No, you have 6 clip-ins, right? So if you put at the side, everything will now be 6. So if you want that extra security, you can go ahead to do that. But for me, 4 was okay. And also I use the wig comb at the back, like I said I would earlier. And I just feel a wig comb is better at the back because it's just very easy. It's very easy for you to just stick that in compared to clipping it at the back, you know, putting those clip in and having to try and clip it in every time. But with a wig comb you could just pierce it through. So that's why I use the wig comb at the back. Hey lovely, so we're done with the wig right now, so I'm just going to do a very quick install and just try and run through it. I know I look a mess right now, but I do have my braids in at the back. My sister just kind of did a very rough quick braid for me, I think like 2 days ago, so I still have it on. So I just have my hair out. This is not much, just like an inch or more of hair, and then I just brought in some at the front. So this is like a T-part braid pattern. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead to straighten this before I go ahead to put on my wig. So I'm just going to be very fast and not waste our time. It's just a very quick install for you to see how I installed this wig on myself. First things first, I'm going in with my heat protectant spray. I have the little nylon on because sometimes it just spills, so that helps me keep it from spilling. So that's all I'm going to be putting in on my hair, because you don't want your hair to be damaged, mostly when you do this like almost every time. So I just go in and start straightening the hair. I kind of like straightening the hair better before putting on my wig, because it just gives you room to be able to get deep into the hair and not have to worry about the wig if you're going to straighten the wig, because it's a coil pattern wig. So I just go ahead to straighten everything out. So then I'm going to be putting on the gorgeous wig. Guys, this wig is actually, it looks gorgeous. I love the coil patterns and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead to clip that in. When you're clipping, I think you need both of your hands. That just helps you clip better when you use both of your hands. So I'm just going to go into the back first of all. Like I feel when you clip one side, you have to clip the back, like put the comb in before you now come in to clip again. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut out my middle parts. I can't even remember the last time I had my hair relaxed, but we actually still made it work, and this came out so beautiful, guys. So don't forget, you can actually check out the wig down below. I'm going to leave all the information you need down below in the description box, so make sure to check them out, and you can also use my coupon code and get some coins while you're at it. All right, now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. So to get the curl pattern of the wig, I'm just going to be using my crimper to kind of just mimic the curl pattern. I'm going to take a bit of my hair and a bit of the wig itself and just kind of curl them together. I would actually have preferred if I had like a smaller crimper, but I couldn't get any, so I just used what I had, and it still came out quite alright. It still came out very okay. So, but I would have just prepared it to like the smaller one, but this came out incredibly. This is my first time actually using a crimper, and I mean, for a first timer, I think I did a good job. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead to like just do my edges of camera and just kind of style it. This is my favorite mousse ever. I'm just going to go ahead to apply that mousse into the hair. If you want the hair to last for a longer time, if you want that curl pattern to last for a longer time, you can go ahead to use some got to be spray on it. So that's really it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope you learned a thing or two. Don't forget to check out the hair down below. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you've watched to the end of this video, you already know you're the what? You already know you're the real MVP. Love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Mwah.